What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Corporate Bartender. If you know SkyeTeam or TCB, you've heard us say it 100 times. Relationships matter. You've probably heard of the no asshole rule, too. We're going to get into both of those things by taking ownership of them. We've got Todd Schuchart on the program today. And if you don't know Todd, stick around. He rules. He's a certified goofball. Note the squid hat in the thumbnail. He's an expert in life insurance sales and lead generation. And if you're thinking, that's probably a little bit outside of the lane for TCB, you're not wrong. However, insurance sales is all about relationships. In building, developing, and deepening relationships, not being an asshole, critical. This conversation was epic. So if you're interested in learning about building relationships and want to laugh a ton, this is your ticket. I laughed out loud so many times while producing this episode. Oh, and we've got some big changes coming up to the show, and we're going to be kicking those off on February 4th at 4 p.m. Mountain. If you don't know the show link and want to come, reach out. We'll hook you up. Buckle up, TCBers, grab your favorite cocktail, and let's get right on into it with Todd Schuchart on today's TCB.
Welcome to SkyeTeam's The Corporate Bartender, where we gather some of the best HR and people leaders to discuss what's happening on the people side of business. Now pull up a stool, belly up to the bar, and join us for The Corporate Bartender.
Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It is your favorite day and mine. It is Corporate Bartender Day. Here we are, rounding third on October. It's the 22nd of October, and the 234th time that we've gathered this group of amazing people. I tell you, Lori asked me this weekend, should we strategize about TCB because you do all the work and I just show up? Should we do something different with it? And I tell you, it brings me so much joy to come here every week, see who the hell's going to show up, reconnect with people, find out what's going on. With all of the stress and pressure that we're under in just living and navigating this world these days, it's pretty awesome to have this. Todd and I were talking about this in the pre-show, and Ruby and I have been talking about this for a while, just the amount of stress and anxiety that people are dealing with in regular life and at work and just in general. It's a lot. So it's nice to have these little pockets of comfort and awesomeness. And that's what I think you guys are. You guys are all comfortable, awesome.
Yes.
Come on, make those hearts fly, Ruby. There they are.
I did it.
You just made that happen? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. There. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Todd's
good.
going to make some balloons.
There it is. Yeah.
Maybe I'm not.
There they are. I like this one, Todd, when you do this.
Oh, that's a good one. Does this do anything?
Yeah, it should. I feel like you fit in, Todd. I just really feel like you fit in.
I tell you, we're going to talk to Todd today. He's a trainer, a coach, a lead gen guy, an entrepreneurship guru. And, I'll be honest with you, I get pitched guests all the time, and I got pitched Todd, and I'm like, he's kind of out of our lane. He's not he's not a home run based on what he does.
No offense.
And then I talk to him.
All taken.
Yeah. And then I talk to him. I'm like, we'll set up a pre-call and we'll jump on and we'll see. We'll see if there's a vibe and if Todd's got some wisdom that he can drop on this community, that this community will find A, useful, B, entertaining, and C, enjoy it. So we hit on a topic. And you'll see it referenced here in the green lettering. It says NBAA, and this isn't some sort of basketball league, but we're going to get into what NBAA means. And I tell you, it is the perfect day for Laurel Ditson to join us topic-wise. So,
Indeed.
Prepare
he
yourselves.
Already warned me.
Yeah, I did. I gave her the heads up. So, before we get into that, just a little housekeeping. Just a reminder of dark days, because seems like Ruby and I are traveling always, and we'll be gone next week in Tucson, and then we'll be in Virginia on the 12th and back in Virginia on the 19th, and then home for Thanksgiving, and then in Boston, and then in Boston. Have a Bloody Mary.
And then it's really going to be Christmas.
Sandwich and a steak sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been teasing Ruby since I think about February 1st that it's almost Christmas, and it is seriously, it's almost Christmas. So if you haven't started buying your presents, you should get on that now.
No.
Yeah. Or else you'll end up like me and you'll be wandering around the mall on the 24th of December going, I don't know what to get for anybody. Can I just give them money?
Or liquor.
We still have mall.
Shh. Laurel, don't ruin everything.
You might end up at Walgreens or Walmart.
Yeah. Wall something, I tell you. We will have a guest on the 5th of November. And this is going to be a cool one. His name is Manny Fatini, and he wrote this book called The Mind Congruency Effect. And it's about transforming your life's direction. It's a very it's like almost a crystals and granola, but based on science kind of a thing. And I got pitched his stuff and I flipped through the book and I'm like, that's actually really cool. So I'm looking forward to that conversation because my PR folks, they know my refrain. Please stop sending me middle-aged white men because my audience is all it's like 90% women. And I just can't maintain credibility with gray-headed, bearded white men showing up. So no offense again, Todd, but I mean, for fuck's sake.
All
But
offense.
come on, Todd. This is for you, Todd. I feel like he needs some extra love already.
He can hang. If he couldn't hang, he wouldn't be here. He can hang. This is Todd. Look at this picture. This is Todd in a squid hat.
I feel like Lori should be here.
I know.
I feel like it's a squid hat with a Todd.
Yes.
You know, that hat kind of has its own life for sure.
His name is Todd Schuchart, and he is a certified goofball. And he's an expert in he's an expert in a niche industry, right? The life insurance industry, which is why I said I don't know if this is in our lane. But he's known for his commitment to helping entrepreneurs succeed. And I know a lot of us in this community hang shingles and work for tiny boutique companies. Ruby and I do, right? He's a strategy expert, but his focus on another area really caught my eye. And it's squarely in the TCB lane. And it is on why not being an asshole is important in business and in life. So, Todd, thanks for being here with us today. We didn't warn you, but if you did any homework at all, you know that we dance people onto the show. And as a goofball, I think you'd enjoy that. So let's give Todd a warm TCB welcome, shall we? I let the music play until the hands come up, Todd. There it is. And the middle fingers. Perfect. Yes. Thank you. Thanks for being with us today, Todd.
Absolutely. Gotta get my mic in closer.
All right.
I thought that was a blur of your middle finger.
That would be a
awesome.
giant, unshaven, very Italian middle finger. If that was.
Yeah.
My mom would be proud.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, we always like to start with a little bit of an origin story because when we start down this career path, this road of life, not a lot of us are doing the thing that we set out to do when we were little kids.
Yeah.
I am no longer a long-haired metal drummer. Tell us a little bit about your journey, how it started, and how it's going today.
Whew. How long is this show?
We can edit.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I you know where to start. School of Hard Knocks is really where I went to school. Got out of school, went to work. Thought I was going to be a cook for a long time, and that ended quickly when I realized how much money you don't make. And decided that we'd start with sales. Actually, truthfully, sales has been my passion since about the 6th grade. That's when I read my first sales book, and man, I just fell in love with it. When I was a kid, I played with the neighborhood kids. We did, the typical things, sports, but then we would play Chips and Businessman. Chips was a TV show for everybody who's too young to remember, and they were
Were you Ponch or John?
Come on. I was Ponch all day long. Nobody's John.
Nobody wants to be John.
No. The only way you got to be John is if you lost the race to the wherever we decided was the finish line, so you could become Ponch.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's and it just kind of started from there. I did a lot of different jobs when I was younger, just trying to kind of find my rhythm and where I wanted to be. And I laugh because I accidentally ended up in sales management, building and rebuilding sales teams. Then I accidentally ended up in digital sales, again, business development, building and rebuilding sales teams. And then I accidentally ended up in the life insurance space, running a relatively large leads business that I intentionally walked away from 2.5 months ago, and left all ownership on the table. And now, with a lot of intent, for the first time in my life and career, choosing what I'm going to do next. So we
Amen.
have. It's liberating, and it's riddled with analysis paralysis and the overwhelming of everything. Like, oh, I could do everything, because we can market and we can sell. If you can market and you can sell, I don't care what it is, you can do it, right? It's just a matter of the nuances now. And we bounced everything around and went right back into life insurance. So we are about to launch a life insurance agency. On top of that, we're launching an initiative to clean up the hiring process in the life insurance space with Truth in Hiring. And that's kind of our transparency piece that we're trying to bring to a space that otherwise has a bad rap for a lot of really good reasons, right? But it's an incredible business. It's low cost barrier to entry. The income potential and the personal development and the growth that can come out of it is everything you want out of an opportunity. It's just a matter of it's I say it all the time. It's very pimp and hooker currently, and we're trying to change that to be more encouraging and uplifting. And I worked for a media company.
So more escort and manager. I mean, how far up market are you going to go, Todd?
Yeah.
Very. I don't get a cane, and the purple hat apparently is not appropriate. So, we got to tighten it up a little bit. So here we are. We're about 2 weeks away from launching. We've been building and building and building and building, and now we're going to be able to start selling and, adjust everything we thought we did right.
I love it. Well, talk a little bit about this cleaning up of the hiring practices, because this is an HR oriented show, and all of us have done talent acquisition at some point in time. What's the problem in your industry? What are you trying to clean up, and how are you cleaning it up?
So the biggest problem I see is that it's the sale of the dream. It's going after people that are looking for a job, selling them this incredible work-life balance. By the way, is just, you need a shovel and a backhoe to get all the bullshit out of that comment. and letting them think that, listen, you're going to buy 4 leads. You're going to qualify for this free vacations all over the world. It's going to be so easy to make all this money. And then people go through this thing. And the part about it that bothers me is, first of all, it's in sales. And sales is my core profession. I do a lot of ancillaries around it, right? I've managed, because I worked for big media, managing folks out. I've worked very close with the HR side, learning how to do that, right? But really at the core, I've got a love for the sales side of the world and salespeople. And I think everybody can sell. I don't think that anybody here or anybody listening can't. I think everybody can. They just have to not try, right? So if you just have a conversation with somebody like we're doing now, we can find some common ground and accomplish some things. So it's a lot of this, I've got to tell you all the wonderful things, because if I don't, you're not going to buy in, which means I, as the hiring person or the recruiter, I don't believe that what I have is as good as I'm trying to tell you it is. Mm-hmm. So I've seen behind the curtain and I know what the struggles are, but because our recruiting practices are all formed around this dream thing, MLM-ish, type of a world, that's what I have to do because I don't have any other materials or freedom to create around it. So for us, what I have found in my career and just life in general, whether you think it's a good rule or a bad rule, it doesn't matter. It is the rule. It is the way. It is the thing. And you're going to figure it out either now or later. And the problem in this space with later is you've committed money, time, your family, your livelihood. A lot goes into these decisions. And to be so just kind of like, Laurel said the word at the beginning of the call. And it just, to just be a you can edit, a fuck it kind of a mentality about that is
we would never edit that.
To me, is detrimental to the person. So I also feel that if we're bringing people in and we're selling this dream, we have the liability to help them make that happen. Mm-hmm. So for us, the reality is this: there is no work-life balance. You're starting a business. And if you think for a second that you have work-life balance when you're starting a business, you should stay employed because you will work 5 times as hard for half the money for the first year for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, years 2 through 5 might get a little bit more interesting economics for you. But the thing that we do have that we can bring to the table is freedom of geography. Mm. So if you have an internet connection, you can do this job, right? The other part is there's money involved. You need to know there's an investment. First 4 months, you've got to have like 14, 15 grand in cash. Nobody's going to tell you that. They want you to find it out later when I don't know why, it's too late.
They want to sell you on the trip to Fiji. You're going to win this. You're going to be in the President's Club. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, my God. That's my favorite one. We'll give you a ring. Great. Thank you so much. Can I trade that in for some groceries? Yeah. It's a lot of that. And it's opening the books up and talking about a legitimate day in the life. This is what it's like. So for me, when I hire a salesperson, I always look for one thing: desire. Mm-hmm. If you've got the desire, I have everything else. If you don't have the desire and in our case, the means to get through your first 4 months, this isn't the opportunity for you right now. Right? You bring me desire and a little bit of economics, and we can do some really great things together. So it's all transparency. We pull back the curtain on all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because that is just reality of what it is. And if I can do anything, I don't need 10,000 people like these big organizations are building to, because you end up burning. There's like 3 in 100 people stay in the business.
Yeah, right.
There's a fundamental problem with how you're going about this if that's your model. The problem is some of these organizations have figured out you'll be here for 2 or 3 weeks, you'll sell 5 or 6 things, we keep the money.
Yeah.
So, they've got, that's part of their P&L now. Mm-hmm. It's just this churn, which is why they have such a high rollover and just, it's just that. It at the end of it all, it just makes me mad that people do that to people so willingly.
Yeah.
And just blatantly. And it's a wonderful business. It truly is a wonderful business. Like, you can take somebody who doesn't want to go to college that has a little bit of personality, and you can literally give them something that could potentially make them millions over their career. And you get to do that in your shorts or your underwear if you're feeling frisky, right? You don't see anybody. So
you did say hookers and pimps. So
that's right. We left the blow part out because it's not pride.
Because it's not 1987 anymore.
That's right. That's right. So it's hookers, pimps, and the gym. Protein. We'll put protein in there in place of the other. Yeah.
I knew I should have brought my red thong.
Yes.
So just Todd, just so you know, during the pandemic, Laurel showed up one day wearing a red thong as a facial covering, as a mask.
That sounds a lot like a party I was at in my 20s.
I was sober.
I didn't have a pandemic.
So, Todd, a lot of the things that you said, I can identify with, right? Because service businesses are service businesses, right? And what we do at SkyeTeam, right? We sell leadership development, consulting services, team development, and executive coaching. It's not a hard product like life insurance, but it's a relationship-driven process, right? And there's literally zero barrier to entry in our world, right? If you want to be a leadership development person, you anoint yourself one and print some business cards or whatever the kids are doing today.
How cute are you printing little business cards? Get your little wagon. Let's go hand those out.
It's gonna sell some lemonade. But there's literally no barrier to entry. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting about it, to your point, not a lot of people have the constitution to do it for a long period of time. It's hard, right? Mm-hmm. People see the work that we do. We get up in front of people and we do keynote speaking and we run these big, cool cohorted training programs and we do these cool team development sessions, and participants in those programs will capture us afterwards and be like, you guys have the coolest job ever. And I'm like, yes, I agree. And they want to do it until they try to do it. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. And,
it's everybody wants the sex. Nobody wants to date.
Right.
I mean, really, it's what it comes down to, right? The work is the dating part. And what all they're seeing is the sexy.
Yeah. And the dating's
Nobody
hard.
Ever pays attention to the rest of it until
There's
they're in.
There's a lot of swiping apparently these days, left and right. And
wow.
I think it's front to back, but I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing.
Lori.
Lori's missing out so
she would
right
love
now.
It so much. Yeah.
So in thinking about that, like just the type of people that can hack it. Something you said about sales too, that really resonated with me. Like we do literally $0 of marketing. We do none marketing, right? SkyeTeam's been around since 2007. I've been here since 2012, right? Ruby's been here since like 2013. It is entirely referral driven business. And when I think about your industry, the image that pops into my head is Ned Ryerson from Groundhog Day. If you've ever seen that film, Ned the Head, Needle Nose Ned. Like insurance agents they're like lawyers, right? They have a persona. But that's not how it really works. Insurance is a relationship driven business, right?
Oh, 100%.
Right. So you have a person, and that person is because it was your dad's person or your uncle's or somebody who knew this guy, or there's a reason that you call somebody. You don't randomly pick up the internet and look for insurance people and start calling cold, right? In relationship-driven businesses, something you said really resonated. You don't really sell, you have a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I don't care what it is. You don't sell.
Mm-hmm.
People don't buy from people selling.
Mm.
Right? This whole like old school, I can slam. I grew up and was trained by some of the most aggressive sales people.
Put the coffee down, Todd.
It's not even coffee. It was like pieces of foam were just shrapnel flying by your face. It was old school, hardcore boiler room stuff. And that worked at one point.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore. And it works. These guys are like, well, what do I say when someone says this? I don't know. What would you say if you and I were talking about that and I asked you a question? Well, I'd say this. There's your answer, buddy.
Say that then.
Let's go with that every time. You just do that. And so much in sales now is people are so focused on what they're supposed to say. They aren't listening to understand what somebody's replying to them with. And scripts are a roadblock. They are a roadblock. Their roadmap is really all it is. It's a loose guideline to just kind of help you make sure that you're covering everything you need to cover. It's the same thing when you're onboarding an employee, right? You go through your checklist. Do I have all their stuff? Yes. Okay, cool. And if you don't, what do? You circle back and you get it. It's the same thing. And, I always equate people being sales to people being art. So my wife's an artist. She's a gallery painting artist. And you look at her work and you look at her and you're like, there's no way that came from that. It just everybody says it just doesn't line up. But because she's talented, she doesn't have to be art. She's not wearing flip-flops, a snorkel to your point, and a tuxedo shirt at an art gallery opening. And believe it or not, I've seen that. And when you see that person's work, you're like, ooh.
It looks like flip-flops, a tuxedo t-shirt, and a snorkel.
Yeah, but I think I figured out what I'm going to wear tonight.
You may want to consider the red thong mask, too, as just an accoutrement.
And a penciled-in curly mustache.
Yes.
It out. But, if you skip all of that, right, and you just realize that, like, has anybody, when you were younger, ever gotten your parents to let you stay out past curfew, even on just, right?
Sales job.
Let you.
Yeah. And the first thing we do is say, hey, can I stay out till 11? And of course, as a kid, you don't realize that they're just beat up from working all day and they're tired. Right? And they're like, no, you're going to be home at 9. I'm like, there's this girl. I got to go. I'm definitely going to kiss her. So I've got to be at the roller rink this night. So what can I do? Okay. Now I come back. I'm like, listen, I'll mow the lawn. I'll do the dishes for a week and I'll clean the bathroom. And your mom goes, done. Pick you up at 11. Right. You got 2 hours. She doesn't do anything for 3 weeks. It's fantastic, right? Not anything, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What did we do? Got an objection. We sidestepped. We rethought our strategy. We stacked some value, and we closed. And that's all it is. It's all it is every single time.
Because then, Todd, at the roller rink, you had to close again to get that kiss.
I got the kiss.
Closing deals.
Always be closing.
Yeah, right behind Miss Pac-Man. Keeping it classy, people.
Leah's like, what's this roller rink you guys are talking about?
I know.
Oh, Leah, so back in the day.
We had a roller rink and they used to play Back That Ass Up by 504 Boys.
Yeah.
And as an adult, I'm like, that was a little sketchy. But growing up,
I was 12, smoking
do that.
cigarettes and eating made out of God knows what. So, yeah, it was all about sketch.
Back That Ass Up. That's the first time that song's been referenced on this show.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping it classy, Leah. I love it. So, Todd, if we're thinking about sales as not a thing, but a conversation, the evolution of a relationship, where did you settle into this idea that not being an asshole was actually a cogent thing for you to think about? Lori and I always kid that we're going to write a business book that is 1 page long. The book is called Don't Be a Dick. And when you open it up on 1 page, it says, don't be a dick, the end. Like that's it. And we joke about it because managing, leading people, I mean, it's all about managing relationships and doing them from a place of good, from a starting point that you want to make you and them better. So tell us about not being an asshole and why this became important to you.
Oh, God, I've worked with so many fucking assholes in my career. It's it's a very deep subject. All puns intended, right? The silence will sell that one.
I was like, do I have a sound effect for that?
I don't think so. No,
I was going to go with the pro.
Just got to give yourself one of these. Make it organic.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. I can't make it stop now. We have to wait 2 seconds. There you go.
I was like, wow, I think we broke the podcast. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the button got constipated.
Oh my God.
And the
What's
asshole jokes
happening?
keep coming.
Wow.
I've worked in a lot of environments with a lot of different personalities. And I think there are people that come in with a true intention of just trying to be open and part of something bigger than themselves.
100%.
And then you get that one asshole that shows up and they just, I don't know if they're just miserable existence, if they're missing a few, things in their head. I'm not really sure why or what, or they feel like if I can just squash you, I'll get ahead. And it's one of those things that it slowly but surely will destroy an incredibly well-performing team. It doesn't take 10 of them. It takes one. And the problem is with most assholes, they manage up really well.
Really well.
Yeah.
You tend to kiss what you are. So in that process, you really have to, in your world, for me, this was about documentation, right? It's how do I defend myself when I know some assholes talking, like every good asshole, shit behind my back. More puns for all of you. That was a fart joke. And how do you keep yourself protected from that? Because typically, they do a really great job of just kind of this backhanded back channeling. And I can't stand it. It's I'm a what you see is what you get guy. That has either been really good for me or detrimental to my existence at certain organizations. And it always...
But those are probably places you didn't need to be or want to be.
Yep.
Didn't need to be. At the time, I needed the money, but didn't need to be there because I'm not there.
Right.
Right. And if I was supposed to be there, then it would be great. We're all on this kind of thing, this whatever this is, right? That we're all doing this, our existence. And we all have different kind of lessons that we have to learn, I think, as we go through this process of life. And everybody's, although maybe similar, they're all a little bit different. So I'm not 100% sure from my perspective what makes people turn into that. Or are they always that? It feels very much like high school for me, and that was not my favorite place in the world to be. And I think there's a whole group of folks that just don't leave that, and they just bring it with them. It's the guy or girl in front of you that cuts you off and all of a sudden has to drive 5 under the speed limit, but their pants were on fire at the 3 stop signs that they just blew to make sure they got in front of you to ruin your day. So I cut them off and I flipped them off. And my job now is to teach them a lesson about not being an asshole by being a bigger asshole, which drives my wife absolutely crazy. And my sister thinks it's hysterical because she's the exact same way. So, it's just, it's petty. It's lack of skill, lack of talent, lack of self-worth, lack of maybe you didn't get picked up or held enough as a child, or your mom didn't do the hugs and the kisses and the notes in your lunchbox. I don't know why, but
right.
It's definitely feels like it is a systemic issue, and I would say it's really American, but I work on a global scale with a lot of people in a lot of countries, and it's just people. So I would love if I could develop an AI that could just tell me the level of asshole that I'm about to deal with. on a scale of 1 to just Grand Canyon, and so that we know what's going on there. But
I was really afraid instead of developing an AI, you were going to develop a rectal thermometer.
that's not a bad idea.
Same.
Make it a button so you can see. Oh. So funny story. I was 19 working at Sears and Roebuck. I don't know if anybody remembers, but I got hired to sell major appliances.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to tell you, I slept in that back room watching those CDs about dishwashers because at 19, you're like,
what?
What are you even doing with this thing, right? And I was sick that day, so I walked through the mall to the drugstore, got a thermometer, came back, took my temperature, and I was working with a woman who had kids, and I walked up to her, I said, I don't have a temperature. She goes,
I have
what?
no temperature.
I have no temperature. She goes, Todd, you'd be dead. Let me see your thermometer. And she looked at it and she goes, honey, this is a rectal thermometer. Luckily, I bought it new.
You're about to get some truth dropped when it starts with honey.
Honey.
Yeah,
Honey.
for sure.
So, Todd, thinking about this, we make jokes about these toxic people. And some of the workshops that we do, we call these people brilliant jerks. And there is, especially in sales, we see this in sales all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There is an archetype here, and there is grace and latitude granted. So I think we can all think of a time that we've worked with that one sales guy, and I'll say guy because it's a lot of the times it's a dude. Who is blowing up his numbers, just crushing it, and is an absolute dick face to everybody that he has to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And that person's leader says things like, hey, it's just Todd. He's doing his Todd thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's killing it right now. So they let the bad behavior persist.
Mm-hmm.
What is your recommendation to somebody who's got this toxic, brilliant jerk on the team who's crushing the numbers, but nobody wants to hang out with? Because having been to this party before, I know how the story plays out. That person's utility runs out at some point in time, right? The people that they have to work with that person, they decide they're not doing that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And his ability to deliver above goal decreases rapidly, which is also why they're really good at interviewing for jobs, because they've done it a lot. So what's your advice for somebody, maybe somebody that's new in leadership, who's got one of these crushing the numbers, but not killing it on being a good human? What do you tell them to do? How do they deal with that person?
It's actually pretty simple. So the question first would be, if you had an underperformer, would you get rid of them?
Right. Yes.
Yes. Right. So
100% all the time.
You have to be willing to get rid of your top performer just as quickly as you are for your person that isn't making it.
But dude, my performance is rated on how well my team's doing, and that's going to crush me, and I'm going to take a productivity hit, and I'm going to get a bad rating, but I don't want to do that, and I don't want to have a tough conversation because it scares me.
So whiny.
That's the answer. That's it right there. It's I don't want to have to have a real conversation, because that's my version of being an asshole. I can't do that because it hurts me. And you've done such a disservice to everybody else that's on that team.
Yes.
You've taken everybody else, and this goes back to this is my bones. This goes back to your job as a leader is to lead, which means you have to have hard conversations when they're appropriate. And you have to cut that cancer out of the organization, because it will destroy everybody else that you are supposed to be leveling up, right? And helping develop their skills and become the thing that you told them you would do for them when you hired them. Right? So this comes back to, you probably aren't the manager then.
Right.
Right? That's like the tail wagging the dog.
Well, and when that toxic employee starts to piss people off, it's not the C players that leave.
No.
Mm-hmm.
It's your really employable top performers who go, fuck this, I'm not dealing with that guy. I'll go do something else. I will leave without having a job. I've seen this so many times in my 20 plus years in HR. I'd be like, I'm doing an exit interview. I'm like, where are you going? They're like, away from that dude, because I don't want to be part of it. But your C and D players, man, they'll stick around. They're just warming the chair, right? They're just keeping their head under the radar.
Yep.
Like, your overall team performance is going to crash.
And it's going to do it right when you're about to get your next move up.
Right.
And then somebody's going to go, what happened? You had so much promise. Oh, well, I let this asshole destroy my entire team because I was chasing the 50 cents for the last quarter instead of having a conversation with my senior team to tell them, hey, I got a problem. Here's my plan. You can't go in, like I've fired entire sales teams before. I started from zero because it was just systemically unmanageable. So either your sales team holds you hostage or you adjust your sales team. And if your sales management can't make those adjustments, then you need to start there.
Yeah.
First, you get rid of your manager. You bring somebody in that can handle the conversation, right? And still has the chops and skills to level folks up. And then you start cleaning house. Because what you do when that happens is you start to send a message. This bullshit is over.
Yes.
New sheriff in town. Everybody's now back to dating again. No, we're not to BNF. So nobody's burping and farting all over the place. They're on their best behavior. You really start to see in that situation skill sets.
Yes.
Right? Are you really worth it? Are you cutting the butter? Or did you just get handed all the layups because you had a couple of good months?
Well, and the people around that leader, they say things like, well, finally, somebody's dealing with all this bullshit we've been talking about in the meeting after the meeting, right? We all met up at the bar afterwards to say, oh, okay, new guy says a bunch of cool stuff. Nothing's going to change. And it's going to be, rinse and repeat again. Laurel, I know you've dealt with toxic leaders like this, and you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. From the HR, the chief people perspective, like, what's your advice here? What's ringing true for you as we're having this conversation?
Well, the person I was thinking of, other than the woman who laid me off a couple months ago, she delegated it. But anyway,
that was big of her.
No, she made my boss call me at 8:00 on a Monday night. He was on Eastern time. That was 8:00 Mountain time.
Oh, so 10.
And so she said, no, you have to call her tonight. And he was also on vacation with his family. So,
Excellent.
that's, yeah. But I was thinking of a senior leader in that organization and what I had to do before I could give him feedback, because I wasn't in his reporting structure anywhere.
Sure.
But he was toxic. And I had to establish rapport with him, because otherwise it's just, who are you and why are you trying to tell me, what I'm doing wrong? And so that took a while because I could see the behavior, but I knew I wasn't ready to give it in a way that he would be ready to hear.
To take it, yeah.
Yeah. So I finally got to that point, and something had hit a crescendo, and it was this one team he was specifically aggressive toward. And I was finally able to say, why do you act like you hate them?
Oof. Ouch.
And he looked at me and he said, who says I hate them? I said, nobody says you hate them. I asked you why you're acting like you hate them. I know you, at this point, you don't hate people, but that's not what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of grumbled about their incompetence, and he changed the subject.
Right. Yep.
And I let him, because we met every week, and it's like, yep, don't poke the bear. And it was probably, first of all, I noticed a change about a week later.
Uh-huh.
I noticed something had just been a little different, but it was about 3 months before he would bring up that subject to me.
Interesting.
And he said, when you told me that thing about hating them, yeah, I remember that. He said, that really hit me hard. And I said, I know. And he said, I went home and talked to my wife about it.
Good boy.
Yeah. And I don't know, she's a very logical person. I've met her as well. And he didn't say anything like, damn it, she told me that's how I sound too. But he said, when I get something in my head, it comes out. And so he truly did try. And I could tell it had gotten through to him, but he had to, like all of us, when we get that sort of feedback,
you got to process.
Okay, do I trust the source, first of all? Who can I ask who knows me really well? Okay, my wife of 20 years. And what the heck am I going to do about it?
I love
That's
that.
awesome.
Ruby and I talk about this concept all the time, and it sounds like when you hit him with the truth bomb, right? It was his realization that despite his intention, his impact was not aligned. It was not landing the way he hoped it would. And I've seen this a lot with, old school, Todd used the term boiler room, type of leaders who they operate in persona because they think that's what they're supposed to do. And they think that's how you motivate. That's how you manage. That's how you get people fired up about stuff. And it's really their own self-doubt, shortcoming, inadequacy, right, that they have to deal with, because they actually have a really good intention a lot of the time. It just doesn't land. And unfortunately, Ruby says this all the time, as you move up in an organization, the less likely people are to tell you the truth.
Exactly.
Right?
And doubling down on that, the people who are looking at you think that you're doing it on purpose with intention.
Well, and they think that's how you do it. That's the accepted way to lead in this organization. So I wanted to sort of take that concept and point this at Todd, because in his industry, he has this dynamic to deal with. And we see it, Ruby, a lot in startups. Founders, right? So founders are great, right? Startup people are awesome, and they love the energy and the dynamic of a startup. But a startup person is probably not a scale person, and a scale person is probably not a stabilize, and a stabilized person is probably not a pretty it up and sell it person, right? Those are the CEO archetypes. So if your leader, and in Todd's world, this is the person who owns the practice, is the asshole, what do you do? Like, if you're an employee of that organization, if you're an employee in this startup, and Steve Jobs was a fantastic founder, but when it came time to grow that business, he was not the guy, which is why he got fired, right? How do you, as a sort of second line employee, a direct report to that person, how do you help manage that so that they don't torch the place?
You interview better. I think that so many times we go into interviews and we're on an audition as the person being interviewed. The reality is
It's two-way.
we're both sniffing each other's butts, right? We're two dogs. There's not just, it doesn't go one way. So I think that it's that. And, I don't know there's a whole lot you can do other than, to Laurel's point, develop that relationship so they understand and trust in what you're saying. And then just, opening listen, we're in sales, I can bend a conversation. I can steer you into me having an opening to be able to do that. And as HR people, you can too, right? And from an HR perspective, that is your salesman hat.
Yeah.
That saleswomanship, right? That's where that comes from. And I think it's just architecting the conversation and building trust so you can say, hey, you know what? That was really shitty.
Yeah.
Like we should look at something like or something like, and you're going to find out real quick if that is a leader you want to follow.
Yeah.
Because if to Laurel's point, he took that feedback. Now whatever, but that dude's the guy. We want that guy because that guy has the thing I said earlier. He has the desire to be and do better. And if it ate at him for 3 months and he was having conversations at dinner with his wife about it, that says a lot about that person. It also says a lot about he needs more leadership guidance that the organization hasn't been giving.
Yeah. So thank God for Laurel.
Yeah, 100%. But I also think that there's, from a leadership perspective, there's still a transparency thing. People want to know why they're doing what they're doing. Why did you just tell me to do that? Because that sounds stupid. Well, let me share something with you. Here's what we've been seeing. And the other problem we have is when you hit the C-suite, you're very far from the street.
Yes.
You don't have a beat anymore on what's really going on in the gutter. So the one thing I will tell you from a founder's perspective that I've always found value in, even when I finally got to the corporate C-suite, I still made sure that I spent time in the street. Because when I first got there, they're putting together programs. I'm like, who do you think our clients are?
Right.
Like, where in your mind do you think that a ice cream store down the street that's making a nickel a cone is going to do a $7,000 ad campaign?
Right.
Like, you're out of your rocker. Like, we need a $300 program at best. And it's just, they were so far removed and so buried in a P&L and trying to justify, a flash or a projection that they just create bullshit that nobody will ever be able to fulfill. My favorite thing is, this is just a spreadsheet numbers. Oh, I know. Been there. So, I think a lot of it managing up is a challenge, especially when you have somebody that is not. And I've had leaders that you just can't talk to. I had one that just, I got really good at convincing him that my idea was his idea.
Preach.
But when I worked on a team, and I'm going to tell you this, when I worked, I was the only guy on an all-female team for almost a decade.
Also preach.
Fucking crushed it.
Yeah.
Like, we came up with things, and then guess what we did? We did them. And I left there, and I had my last stint in media with an all-male team. And it was like I had to bring bananas because all these guys were doing this the whole time. And I was like, I can do it louder. And I sat in the corner. I actually was texting my old boss. I'm like, this is horrible.
Horrible.
I cannot even believe what I'm listening to right now. Not a female in the room. And guess what we didn't do? Any of it.
Yeah.
I'll say,
Not
listen.
one damn thing got accomplished, And it was like, we'll meet again tomorrow. Why?
Why? So we can do this again?
Yeah.
Bring your ruler and measuring tape, because apparently that's what we're doing again tomorrow.
So that's it's the what is it? It's the sum cost fallacy, I think is what it's called. And the sum cost fallacy basically states, I've been making these investments. I've been here for 5 years. I can't cut and run.
Right. Yes.
When the best thing you can do for yourself
Is
and
cut
for
and
your
run.
family is to get the hell out of there. Right? Because like you said at the beginning of the call, I wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah.
And that's really it. So I think looking at a lot of those pieces it's more of a holistic answer than just a this is what you do. But
No,
Laurel nailed it with that guy.
I love it. I love it. And you know, we started this conversation in the gutter and you brought it right back to the gutter. So it's full circle. I want to transition into our end of show ritual here. But before we do so, Todd, if people want to connect with you or they want to find out where to get their own squid hat, how do we find you out there on the interwebs?
So Todd Schuchart, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on the Facebook. You can find me in the gutter selling things.
And I imagine there aren't many Todd Schucharts out there.
So far, I'm the only one I've met.
Okay, excellent.
And I do have, you can find us at North Peak. North Peak Life Group is our agency. So in another week or so, that'll be up and functioning. You can always come hang out with us there. But
right on. Well, I'm looking forward to the Not Being an Asshole book. So I think that's a thing you should put onto the timeline.
Eric, my grandfather, I got a book from him when he passed away, and it said all I knew about women. And it was this very thick book, and handwritten. And then I opened it up, and every 300 of the pages was blank. And I just thought that was fantastic. That's what whenever you say that, that's what I think of.
Todd, thanks for being here with us today. I always tell our guests, we're going to do our little end of show ritual. It takes about 5 minutes. You are welcome to stay, but don't feel compelled. If you have shit to do, go do your stuff. But it's worth your time. It starts with funny things, and funny things are just stupid things from the internet that made me laugh this week. Funny thing number one here. This again, in the pre-show, Todd and I were talking about Dagwood sandwiches, and we talked about roller rinks, and we talked about things that age us. This guy ages us too. It's a picture of Freddy Krueger, and the quote is "Never stop dreaming."
Oh,
No, thank you.
Of all the movies from back then, that is the scariest of all.
I think so too. Or Pinhead.
Never stop dreaming. Oh, right.
What was that one called?
Hellraiser.
Something else. Hellraiser.
Yeah.
I was going to say Hellraiser was my horror story.
Yeah. This one's for Ruby. Friend, why are you drinking wine? We're about to go to the bar. Me, why do you warm up before you exercise?
Red wine.
Red wine. This, as a marketing guy, Todd, you can appreciate this. It's important when you are crafting images for public consumption. So this is a picture of two football commentators on what is known as Big Saturday. It is the Big Ten conference layout.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah, Big Saturday. And
the only thing that makes this better is if the guy in the blue suit had his hand out like this.
Yeah.
So it is two commentators, and behind them it says Big Saturday, but they are standing on either side of Big Saturday, so all you can see is Big Turd.
I love that.
This next one is in that same lane, but it's Swedish. I'll just leave it at that. I think my Swedish drying cabinet is trying to tell me something. So it is the digital output on a dryer, and you have buttons, stop, extra, normal, different temperature settings, and the digital readout says slut.
And your Electrolux slut at that.
Electrolux. At my wedding, you'll be able to come alone, bring a +1, or choose a -1 where you can uninvite one person of your choosing.
Yes.
No questions asked.
That's fantastic.
My mother.
Oh, Ruby, say more. No, don't.
No.
And Todd, I went on this run last year where I included pictures from like food items like buffets and grocery stores that foods were labeled, but they were labeled incorrectly. And, you know, you'd see like a big bowl of oatmeal and the label would say oat meat. So close.
Yeah.
So close. This one, I wasn't even going to put it in, but I kept looking at it and I laughed every time. This is a jar of crushed red peppers. And it says crutch papers on the label.
So random.
Crutch papers.
That's
You
good.
didn't think about that because they had to type it out. So they
Yes.
thought about it.
Yeah.
It's a label maker.
But in their
Crutch papers.
defense, I have not found a label maker with spell check yet. So
That's true. That's very true.
yeah.
Very true.
And you've already used the paper, so it's like, well, I don't want to waste it. It's fine.
They'll know.
You can see in the right corner there, they were starting to pick it off and said, let's
Yeah.
get a picture first.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Restoring
That's
fa-
Cream Chem. The guy on Cream Chem all the time.
There was one for cream cheese that I laugh at all the time. It said Cheem Crease.
Hey, don't hate on people that are dyslexic.
No.
I am one, which is why they're
That would be something I would do. I do that all the time, and I'm like, what? That just translated all backwards.
I call it Cheem Creams in my house right now. That's we're out of Cheem Creams. So all right, let's restore faith in humanity. Here it is. Steve doing Steve things. Go, Steve, go.
We end the week with a lesson in sportsmanship and integrity, brought to us by Steve Hartman on the road. You too.
Not being the asshole.
I was going to say, don't be a dick.
And look at that. He just coached a whole bunch of little people to not grow up to be big, giant assholes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That was great. I love the end of this. This has been fun.
We cap it off with a stupid news story that I combine with a cocktail recipe. This one's called The Mothman Cometh. It's a riff on the Mothman cocktail. And so I don't know if you're familiar with the Mothman or cryptids or
I'm obsessed and always have been.
my
I
oldest
could spend another hour.
My oldest daughter, when we were in Maine this summer, pointed out that there's a cryptozoology museum in Portland, Maine. So we actually went to it. And my family is from West Virginia, so I'm well versed in the Mothman. So Point Pleasant, West Virginia, it's right on the Ohio border. You're going to need a little bit of cherry-infused vodka. It all started one night in 1966. An ounce of apple simple syrup. Two couples were chased by a 7-foot-tall winged humanoid who then flew over them and got in front of them. Yeah. Half ounce of fresh lemon juice. Mothman days in Point Pleasant are a thing. It started as a couple of card tables and selling hot dogs and shit. And it is now a big deal. So you need a half ounce of Genepe, which I had to look up. It is an aromatic aperitif liqueur based on alpine vegetation. So there's a weed that it's made from. The town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia is 5,000 people strong, but on the now 3-day-long Mothman Days festival, over 20,000 people show up from all over the world. The bank used to run out of cash because it happened on the weekend. And there's even a Richard Gere movie about it. So if you don't know about the Mothman, you should check it out. It's a fun cryptid. Thank you, Todd, for being here with us today. Thanks to everybody that's tuned in and stuck with us on this crazy gutter-to-gutter trip. Thanks, everybody. We will be dark next week and then back the week after that. Go have some dinner.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you had a good time and learned a thing or two at today's happy hour, please share it with your friends. If you want to join our tribe, head on over to skyeteam.cloud/TCB or email us at info@skyeteam.com. That's SKYE team.com. Thanks again, and remember, you've always got friends at the Corporate Bartender.